Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this explosive episode of Celebrity Showdowns, where the worlds of country music and pop royalty collide in the most unexpected way imaginable. Picture this: it's a bright, bustling morning in a Los Angeles studio, the kind where the air hums with anticipation and the scent of fresh coffee mingles with the faint aroma of hairspray and stage lights warming up. The Kelly Clarkson Show, that beloved daytime staple known for its heartfelt chats, powerhouse vocals, and feel-good vibes, is gearing up for what should be just another star-studded segment. Kelly, the queen of relatability with her powerhouse voice and no-nonsense charm, bounces onto the set in a vibrant red blouse that screams energy, her signature blonde waves cascading perfectly as she flashes that megawatt smile to the cheering audience. She's fresh off promoting her latest album, a soulful blend of heartbreak anthems and empowerment bops, and her fans a mix of soccer moms, pop enthusiasts, and vocal coaches fill the seats, waving signs that read "Kelly slays every day." In Voice of the People, the band strikes up a lively intro tune, and Kelly dives right in, hyping up the crowd with jokes about her latest Texas barbecue fail, drawing laughs that echo through the rafters. But today's guest, none other than Jason Aldean, the rugged heartthrob of country charts, whose gravelly baritone has crooned through tales of dirt roads, cold beers, and small-town dreams for over 2 decades. Jason strides in looking every bit the Southern gentleman in his crisp button-down shirt tucked into dark jeans, cowboy boots polished to a shine, and that trademark baseball cap tilted just so. His latest single, a gritty anthem about resilience amid chaos, has been climbing the Billboard Hot Country Songs like a freight train, and whispers among the crew suggest he's here to perform at Live, maybe even duet with Kelly for that cross-genre magic. The audience erupts as he takes his seat across from her on those plush, conversation pit couches, the kind designed for cozy confessions but today feeling a tad too intimate. Kelly leans in with her usual warmth. "Jason, honey, welcome. I've been spinning your new track non-stop, and that line about rising from the ashes gets me every time." Jason chuckles, his Georgia drawl thick and easy. "Oh, Kelly, that's high praise coming from you. Means the world." The banter flows smooth at first, like sweet tea on a summer porch. They swap stories about tour life, the absurdity of airport security confiscating guitar picks, and how both have battled the music industry's relentless grind while raising families. Kelly shares a laugh about her kid's obsession with Aldean's She's Country video, complete with line dancing attempts in the living room that end in giggles and spilled juice. Jason nods appreciatively, recounting how his daughters blast Kelly's covers on repeat during road trips, turning the tour bus into an impromptu karaoke bar. The crowd awes at the familial ties, sensing the genuine camaraderie that's made daytime TV a safe haven for stars to drop their guards. But beneath this polished surface, there's a subtle undercurrent, a faint ripple in the pond of politeness, hinting at depths unspoken. Jason's eyes flicker with something sharper when Kelly mentions the broader cultural shifts in music, how genres are blurring but not without friction. He sips his water, the ice clinking like a warning bell, and responds with a measured, "Yeah, change is good. But sometimes you gotta hold on to what got you here, you know? Roots matter." Kelly tilts her head, her expression a mix of curiosity and that trademark empathy, but there's a spark in her eye too, of the kind that says she's not just hosting, she's engaging, probing, ready to unpack. Little do they know, this innocent exchange is the spark about to ignite a firestorm that will leave jaws on the floor and social media ablaze. As the cameras roll seamlessly, capturing every micro-expression, the stage lights seem to brighten just a notch, casting long shadows that foreshadow the storm brewing. The audience, oblivious for now, claps enthusiastically as the show cuts to a quick commercial break, sponsors plugging everything from energy drinks to family minivans. But back on set, the energy shifts ever so slightly. Kelly's producers, huddled in the control room with headsets and clipboards, exchange glances as they've seen magic happen here before, but also the rare meltdown that makes headlines. Jason adjusts his mic pack, flexing his fingers as if warming up for more than just a song, while Kelly jots a note on her cue card, her pen scratching with purpose. The world outside buzzes on, unaware that in this controlled chaos of television, authenticity is about to override the script. And as the countdown resumes, a 5, 4, 3, the stage is set not for harmony, but for a clash that will echo far beyond the studio walls, challenging loyalties, exposing divides, and reminding us all that even icons have breaking points. This is the story of how two musical titans, bound by talent yet divided by worlds, turned a simple interview into the talk of the nation, a moment that would spawn memes, think pieces, and endless debates. Buckle up, because we're just getting started on this roller coaster of raw emotion and unfiltered truth. Word count, 852 character count with spaces, 4872 a wait. That's over, but expanding descriptively, add more on backstory. Jason's rise from Georgia honky-tonks to arena-filling status, his marriage to Britney, the Las Vegas tragedy that inspired Try That in a Small Town, a song that polarized America with its themes of community protection amid urban unrest, drawing praise from conservatives for its boldness and backlash from liberals for perceived divisiveness. Kelly, the American Idol champ turned divorcee turned empowerment icon, her pivot to country covers that won Grammys, her vocal support for social issues like mental health and equality, subtly clashing with Jason's more traditionalist leanings. Their paths crossed at award shows, polite nods in green rooms, but never this deep dive. Now, as applause dies down, Kelly steers the ship toward deeper waters, her voice laced with that Texas twang that disarms. So, Jason, your music always feels so real, like it's straight from the gut. What's been the biggest challenge lately in staying true to that? He pauses, the weight of recent controversies hanging like humidity before a thunderstorm, and replies, folks trying to twist your words, make you something you're not. It's tough when art gets political whether you want it or not. The audience murmurs, sensing the pivot, and Kelly, ever the conversationalist, presses gently, I hear you, I've been there with my own stuff, but don't you think we owe it to our fans to bridge those gaps, not widen them? And there it is, the first crack in the facade, subtle but seismic, as Jason's smile tightens just a fraction. The studio clock ticks onward, oblivious to the tension coiling like a spring, ready to snap. Fans at home, sipping their morning lattes, lean closer to their screens, drawn in by the authenticity that daytime TV promises but rarely delivers. So raw. This isn't just an interview anymore, it's a mirror to America's fractured soul, reflected through the eyes of two artists who've sung our stories but now must live them out loud. As the band softens their standby melody, the air thickens with unspoken hysteria. Jason's defense of his song against boycott calls, Kelly's quiet advocacy for unity and diversity, histories that, in this moment, collide with the force of a chart-topping hook. The conversation, once as comfortable as an old pair of jeans, begins to chafe under the weight of implication, like a hitchhiker's thumb in the wrong direction on a lonesome highway. Kelly, with her keen ear for melody and motive, circles back to Jason's controversial hit Try That in a Small Town, that 2023 release that became a lightning rod for everything from flag-waving rallies to late-night monologues, skewering it as tone-deaf. She frames it delicately, her hands gesturing like a conductor coaxing a symphony. Jason, that song that struck a chord with so many, but it also sparked some real conversations about what small-town means in today's world. How do you respond to folks who feel it doesn't include everyone? The audience shifts in their seats, a few nods of agreement mingling with uneasy whispers. The diversity of the crowd, urban millennials in graphic tees beside suburban dads in polos mirroring the nation's own patchwork quilt. Jason's jaw sets, that easygoing grin fading into a line as straight as a guitar string pulled taut, his eyes locking onto Kelly's with the intensity of a spotlight on a solitary stage. He leans forward, voice dropping an octave lower, laced with the gravel of conviction. Kelly, with all due respect, that song's about protecting what's yours, standing up for your community when things get crazy. It's not about excluding anybody, it's about unity in the face of chaos, like what we saw in Vegas that night. The mention of the 2017 Route 91 Harvest Festival shooting, where Jason was mid-performance when bullets rained from the sky, hangs heavy, a ghost in the room that silences the murmurs. Kelly's expression softens momentarily, empathy etching lines around her eyes, for she knows lost to her own battles with anxiety, the public unraveling of her marriage, but she doesn't back down, her response measured yet pointed. I get that, truly. Trauma like yours shapes us all, but art has power. Jason, when lyrics talk about trying that in a small town, some hear a warning, a line in the sand. As artists, shouldn't we be careful with that power, make sure it's lifting up, not pushing away? The studio lights catch the flush creeping up Jason's neck, his fingers drumming a restless rhythm on his knee, the camera zooming in to capture the vein pulsing at his temple. Backstage, assistants hover like shadows, phones at the ready for damage control, while the director signals frantically for a music break, but Kelly waves him off, committed to the moment. Jason exhales sharply, the sound amplified through his mic like a sigh from the collective American conscience. Careful, Kelly, I've been careful my whole career. I write what I live, what my fans live via hard-working folks tired of the division the media shoves down our throats. If that's pushing away, then maybe some bridges ain't worth crossing if they're burning your roots. The words land like a dropped mic, gasps rippling through the audience as a woman in the front row clutches her pearl necklace. Another stands halfway, torn between solidarity and shock. Kelly's eyes widen fractionally, her quick wit momentarily stunned, but she recovers with a soft, "Whoa, Jason, that's raw." But roots can grow in new soil, you know? Music's big enough for all of us, yet the damage is done. The air crackles with the static of unspoken ideologies, conservative strongholds versus progressive pleas, all funneled through these two voices that have comforted millions but now confront each other. Social media, ever vigilant, begins to stir even in these pre-digital whispers. So producers tweet leaks the tension. Hashtags like #Aldean vs Clarkson trending before the segment airs. Jason shifts in his seat, the couch suddenly feeling like a fault line, his mind flashing to the Backlash tours, the cancelled gigs, the death threats that followed his song's video premiere at a site of historic lynching, a context he feels is willfully ignored by coastal elites. Kelly, for her part, recalls her own forays into country, covering Dolly Parton with reverence, but facing snide comments about selling out her pop roots. A reminder that genre lines are battlegrounds too. Sweat beads on Jason's brow under the unrelenting glare of the lights, each one a tiny sun bearing witness to the unraveling, as Kelly's words hang in the air like smoke from a backwoods bonfire, inviting yet choking. He rubs his chin, the stubble rasping against his palm, a habit from long nights pondering set lists and life choices, encounters with the fire of a man who's stared down critics and come out swinging. Kelly, you talk a good game about unity, but let's be real, your show's all about feel-good, everybody hug it out moments. Try living in a town where folks lock their doors at night because of the mess the city's export. My song ain't division, it's desperation. Clean out for cents. The audience fractures audibly now, a smattering of applause from the back rows where trucker hats nod in agreement, countered by boos from the left aisle where rainbow pins glint defiantly. Kelly's face, usually a canvas of compassion, hardens at the edges, her green eyes flashing with the steel that's carried her through idle critiques and personal heartaches. Desperation? Jason, that's the problema. We frame it as us versus them, and suddenly everyone's the enemy. I've sung about pain too, lost love, lost self, but I don't point fingers at whole groups. Music heals when it's honest, not accusatory. Her voice, that 4-octave wonder, rises in pitch, not yelling but commanding, echoing the teacher she once was before fame's siren call. Jason stands halfway, hands planted on his knees, towering over the coffee table littered with untouched mugs of herbal tea and promotional headshots, his frame casting a shadow that engulfs the space between them. Honest? This from the woman who covers Because of You like it's therapy but shies away from the grit that makes country country. You wanna heal? Start by listening into the heartland, not lecturing from your Hollywood hill. The barb stings, Kelly recoiling as if slapped, her hand fluttering to her chest where her cross necklace rests, a talisman against the tide. The crowd's reaction swells into a wave of cheers, jeers, a young woman shouting "Sing it, Jason!" while an older gentleman calls Kelly's right. Love wins. Turning the studio into a microcosm of a Trump rally crossed with a pride parade. Producers slam the commercial button, but it's too late. The feed lingers a beat too long, broadcasting the roar of 2 millions tuning in from kitchen tables and office cubicles. Jason's wife Brittany, watching from home with their kids, texts furiously a support or caution. It's hard to tell while Kelly's team scrambles, one intern googling how to de-escalate celebrity feud. Yet in that charged silence, as the red light blinks insistently, Jason pushes further, his voice booming without the mix aid. You invite me here to celebrate music, then grill me like I'm on trial. If that's the game, I'm out. Kelly stands too, her 5-foot stature no match physically but a giant in presence. This isn't a trial, Jason, it's a conversation. But if you can't handle pushback, maybe the stage isn't big enough for both our truths. The words sliced deep, evoking Jason's post-Vegas vulnerability, the nights he questioned if performing was worth the scars, and something snaps, and not violently, but decisively, like a guitar string giving way mid-chord. He grabs his cap from the side table, jamming it low over his eyes, muttering loud enough for the boom mic to catch. "Truth, your truth's filtered through filters I ain't got time for. Thanks for the invite, but I'm done." With that, he turns on his heel, boots thudding against the polished floor like drum beats in a breakup ballad, weaving through the stunned audience who part like the Red Sea, some reaching out for high fives, others frozen in disbelief. Kelly calls after him, "Jason, we can talk this out." But her plea dissolves into the applause-confusion hybrid roaring from the stands. Cameras swivel frantically, capturing the exodus, Jason's broad shoulders disappearing through the side exit, stagehands scattering like pigeons, the bandleader fumbling for a filler tune, perhaps an ironic friends in low places. Back in the control room, chaos reigns, executives yelling into phones, "Cut to break, cut to break." As ratings meters spike like a heartbeat in overdrive,